here to talk about monsters. The creatures that wreak havoc on all of your delicious little brains. And I know that some of you think that creatures like me are monsters, but I think we should take a look at that myth just for a second. First, some wiki thing says that monsters are creatures of legend, often hideous, produce fear or harm, and are a sign of something wrong in the universe. Well, first things first, I'm standing right here. Hideous my ass, this is hot. And I wouldn't hurt a fly, don't need to. And let's say this last one, it's just evolution, right? So clearly, we're not monsters. Okay, maybe some of us get carried away, but I'm not really here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about monsters, these beautiful creatures that I'm just going to talk about all of them here. So how did they get started? Well, there's one creature that shows up all throughout history that can give us a clue to what the monsters are coming from. And you can blame your ancestors for this. There was a time when your brains were mere appetizers. And you hung out in the trees, and you communicated with calls, and you warned each other about oncoming doom. And you would tell your friends and family about where they were coming from or what they were from different directions. And this allowed everyone to take the appropriate survival, recourse. Sort of like what you guys do when you see us coming down the street, with your screaming, always with your screaming. And then one day, you left the trees, and you started walking. Well, you still had that tiny little brain, so you're using most of it to stand upright. So you still needed oh shit, What are we going to do? Somebody's trying to eat us. So you merged them all together, and you came up with the glorious dragon. And after you created them, they evolved to come, and they came in all different shapes and sizes and destructive powers. And so whether this origin story about monsters is true, one thing is undeniable: dragons are awesome. And they're everywhere. And over time, your evolving fears have come up with a few other wonderful beasts that devour you. And you've been immortalizing us for about 3,500 years with carvings and paintings and games even, and videos. And the monsters that you've put in videos, I like the most. In the last 100 years or so, you started putting us on film with classics like Frank, Drac, Wolfie, The Mummy, and even The Creature, who always thought he was a ladies' man because he was always picking up the ladies, literally. And then you started putting us on film, which was, pretty awesome. Unless, in about 1930, unless you count Frankenstein, who was also reanimated. So we really think that's kind of sweet. Some of my favorite monsters, though, are from the Atomic Age. Daikaichu, which is Japanese for giant, strange creatures. And these monsters sprung out of fears about radiation, and they grew 40 stories tall to smash cities completely to the ground. And then, not about the same time, the Doctor came to life. And he brought with a slew of friends that to amaze, terrify, and of course, exterminate. And at this point, I was thinking that we might close our eyes for a minute. Actually, don't close your eyes. Don't anybody blink. I said don't blink. Don't blink. Okay. Those guys scare me. All right. But I'm still curious. I'm curious, what monsters will there be in the future? Apparently, some of you are afraid of spaghetti. And yeah, that's a thing. So what could top the flying spaghetti monster? So well, maybe it's your phones, right? They keep making them bigger and bigger and bigger. Might even give Godzilla a run for his money. Probably your money, because you know you're going to want one. Okay, so maybe that's a little far-fetched. And but you do need to remember that we are scary, and we know that, but we are still awesome. And sometimes we can even be the coolest creatures on the planet, especially if someone like Michael here decides we should be.